Hi, I'm DeYoung, and I'm going to show you how to make guacamole using an algorithm. This is my husband James. He's going to be assisting me in the demonstration. And these are my friends Randy and Kim, and Ryan and Taylor. My target audience for this demonstration are Mexican food enthusiasts, and anybody that wants to have a great recipe for guacamole, as well as my fellow UTA students. The objectives I hope to accomplish for the people to be able to identify the advantages and disadvantages of using an algorithm, a bit of the history of guacamole, as well as how to determine if an avocado is ripe. So first, some of the history. It dates back to when the Aztecs were around, and the Aztecs had mostly a low-fat diet. And the avocado, being a high-fat food, the good kind of fat, was an ideal addition to their diet. And they're the first ones that decided to mash it up and make guacamole. And they also considered the avocado an aphrodisiac, so that was an added benefit. The best variety for making guacamole is the Hass avocado. It's available year-round, and it pairs great with Mexican food and with margaritas. And it's available in your local grocery stores, especially if you live in the Texas area. And one of the advantages of using an algorithm is that it makes a complicated process easy for a student to understand. Now, making guacamole is not complicated. However, using these steps will make it easy for somebody to go through and end up with the result of guacamole. The disadvantage is that it's time-consuming for an instructor to create, as well as if the process is not clearly defined, the student will get lost and won't learn whatever the objective was for that student to learn. So, this is an example of my algorithm making guacamole. So the first thing we want to check is to see if we have all the ingredients. And the ingredients I use for my recipe, I use avocados, I use salsa, and I prefer Herdez, but you can use your favorite salsa as long as you make sure you strain it so the excess liquid goes out of it. I use a tablespoon of lime juice, half of an onion, 2 cloves of garlic, and salt and pepper to taste. So we go through the algorithm and we go, if we don't have all the ingredients, it's no, so you want to take the time to assemble the ingredients. Fortunately, I have all my ingredients here. So the next step would be to chop the onion and the garlic. Now fortunately, James has already done this for me because of the constraints of time we have with the presentation, so this step's already been completed. Now we move up to the upper right-hand corner and we ask, are the avocados ripe? So I'm going to ask Taylor, Kim, and Randy to come up, and I'd like each of you to take an avocado from the bowl. Place the avocado in the palm of your hand and apply gentle pressure. You don't want to use your fingertips because that will cause some bruising. So if it yields the gentle pressure, you know that your avocado is ripe. So Taylor, how does your avocado feel?
Mine's very soft.
So her avocado's overripe. We won't be able to use it for this recipe, and unfortunately we'll probably just have to throw it away. It's probably not good for much right now. And Randy, how does your avocado feel?
Very fair, hard.
So it's not ripe enough, so we'll have to wait a couple of days on that avocado, and we'll make guacamole later on. And Kim, what about yours?
Mine's just perfect.
So it yields to gentle pressure?
Yes.
So her avocado is fine, and we'll be able to use it for this recipe. Well, thank you guys. So we're going to determine if the avocados are ripe. If they're not, you want to wait. You don't want to make guacamole with unripe avocados. It'll just taste awful, be a waste of your time. But it doesn't mean you can't drink a margarita or two. Fortunately, our avocados are ripe, and James has already got them in the bowl. He's mashing them and pitted them and peeled them, and he's going to add the lime juice. While he's doing this, we have time to drink our margarita. So James is mashing the avocado with the lime juice. And when he gets done with that, both sides of the algorithm will come and meet in the middle, and he'll mix everything together. So he's going to mix the onion and the garlic in the avocado mixture, and then he's going to mix the salsa, and he'll mix that thoroughly. And after it's mixed, at this point, we would put the guacamole in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. You don't want to do it too much longer than that because your guacamole will turn brown. The lime will aid in keeping the guacamole from turning brown, but you don't want to have it in there for much longer than 15 minutes. And when he gets done mixing everything up, we can serve it with chips and, of course, more margaritas. So does anybody have any questions? Randy?
Do you have this great margarita recipe?
I do, but since we only have a limit of 10 minutes, we'll have to do that in another presentation. But yes.
How long did it take you to pick your algorithm?
It took me about an hour and a half from start to finish, so not too bad.
Can you use lemon juice instead of lime juice?
You can use any citric juice, but I usually like lime juice because it enhances the flavor of the guacamole. But you can use any kind you want. And did you have a question, Taylor?
Yes, I do. Can you use other types of avocados or just the Hass variety?
You can use any kind that you want. I use Hass because I think it tastes the best and it's available around here. About a week or two ago, I think James and I used something called a Slim Auto because we were trying to, watch the calorie intake, and it was awful. So I would not recommend Slim Autos. Does anyone have any more questions? Well, that concludes my presentation. I hope that you all have learned something. I hope that now you have a great and easy recipe for making guacamole. And thank you very much for your attention. And cheers.